everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I am Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
I'm Keith.
And I'm presenting the show in front of a live studio audience, and I'm Brownie.
Oh my goodness, what does everybody think of the new set? Stage, yeah. Oh, round of applause.
This is what, like stage 3 now?
What do you want to call this,
Technically?
Chris?
What?
Well, no, we had stage 1, which was the first comic book background.
Yep.
Then 2, which was R2-D2, and then back to, didn't we make a second comic book background?
That was only for Lego builds.
Well, still, stage 3. This is stage 4.
Stage 3, yeah. Stage 1 of 2.0. Stage.
There we go.
And I hope that this will continue to grow as we proceed.
Yeah.
So I want to were we talking about prop building?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, out of foam and stuff.
Yes, yeah. And I think, because Daryl's making all the minifigs for his game, Daryl's like, I want to help build props. I'm like, I want your help to build props.
And so you know your idea doing the EVA foam to make the crate?
Yeah.
Do you remember me mentioning that months ago?
I'm going to continue to add husband points to my tally by saying, yes, Kara, I remember all the things that we talk about.
And there is how well husbands listen.
So today, we had to do some drone stuff this morning, and I took Chip with me because Chip was perfectly able to come with me while we were flying the drone.
Yeah.
So I just didn't let him pilot it, don't worry.
Little 9-month-old.
A baby behind
That's
the
a good
wheel.
way to lose your license. Yeah, for sure.
Yup.
So, Chris, who do we have watching today?
We have, oh my gosh, I can't type. We have, oh, I got to adjust this slightly so I can see it. So we've got Cam, we've got David.
Hi, Cam. Hi, David.
Brad's in there, obviously.
Snail
I haven't
Brad.
seen anything from Swanky yet. He has posted a bunch of snail stuff.
Swanky.
So for those of you who are wondering, Al is watching.
Oh, fun.
The reason it's a little bit echoey in here is we haven't been able to fully do sound treatment to this place yet. So it's a work in progress. It's not quite up to the standard of the other place, but we have 1,000,000,000% more room to work with, which comes with 1,000,000,000% more room to soundproof. So that's what we're kind of looking at here.
I should have gave you a picture of hanging the blankets to post for everyone, Chris. Maybe we'll put it in the Discord.
Okay.
And have you learned anything about chat commands, Chris?
I haven't learned anything yet.
So Chris has got to learn about some chat commands.
I was too busy trying to soundproof this place to learn things.
It is fun. Nobody can see, but there is a giant glass wall behind Chris. We're all looking at a giant glass exterior that goes to the outside.
Isn't it way better than staring at the gear
Well,
racks?
people are watching. There's a couple there was watching a second
were
ago.
they?
Yeah, they stopped and looked in, so that's kind of fun. So hopefully we're all not like the dog from Up and we're all, Squirrel. Out there. But we've got a lot of fun topics to talk about tonight. We've got DuluthCon coming up, and we just got wrapped up with a new type of mini convention, which would be the West End Flourish. So the new studio is located in the West End of the town that we live in, and they threw a little get together today, and they had food trucks and all this fun stuff outside. How many bags of mini donuts were purchased?
I purchased
4,
2,
5.
and I ate 11 out of one of them.
So, Kara, what other food truck food did you have?
Oh, I had the pulled pork.
What did you think of the pulled pork?
Pulled pork was great. Pickle was disgusting. It tasted like fish.
What kind of sandwich did you get? Did you get the open face sandwich?
Open faced pulled pork. Yeah, it was
I got
on
a
this
Cubano.
nice thick slice of white bread that was toasted. It was so good.
Was the pickle a butter pickle and not a dill pickle? I think that's what it was.
that's what it was, but it tasted like fish. It was.
I got the breakfast pulled pork sandwich. So it was a piece of Texas toast followed by pulled pork and then egg and then hollandaise sauce.
Wait.
And it was really
That
good.
was available.
It was so good. And the egg was it was kind of undercooked. So when you try to cut into the yolk, it was just and just soaked all your pork and egg and sauce.
Dang.
It was crazy good.
That sounds.
Yeah.
You can put the mic just a little bit closer, Keith.
Yeah.
I love hollandaise sauce so much.
I do too. It's so good.
Apparently, I ordered Kara the wrong thing, but you also got to try the
okay.
egg rolls.
The egg rolls were really good. I was actually telling Jeremy that in the egg rolls, you actually tasted the flavor of the vegetables. It wasn't
Really?
just saucy, mushy
Yeah.
stuff. It was really good. I'm I'm eating something healthy right now. Even
You know
though
what's
it's
actually
probably
surprisingly good? Spring rolls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had never had a spring roll until we had the employee appreciation day with my first dental job.
Oh,
And for our day, we had spring rolls and they were so good.
Yeah, spring rolls are really good.
And like it was some sort of peanut dipping sauce or something like that. And,
There was a lot of people when we were out. There was a good turnout today. There was a lot of people, and I was listening to all talking. And somebody I heard say, yeah, "I could eat food trucks at least 3 times a week." And it's like,
I could. 100%.
I think that's a common. People just love food trucks, and they're such a fun business because they can pop up, they're mobile, they can go around and do things, and they're like a really good money earner for people who can like run one full time.
Yeah.
And it's super fun because if you ever do have any type of convention, so for like DuluthCon, we had a lot of people were like, "I'll do I'll bring my food truck there," and so it's like easy to come down here, and then it was a really fun turnout for all the ones today. And so there was an egg rolled one, mini donut one, there was the barbecue place.
What was the one? It's a tiny little black food truck.
Was it here today?
Yeah, it was here. It's like right next to the VA. It was.
I walked by it. I
Gosh,
don't remember.
you remember what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I saw it.
They catered our last office meeting at work, and I can't remember their name.
Room at the table.
Yeah, that one. Room at the table.
What do they serve there? I've never.
I know they said it's according to the article that was written about West End Flourish, it said it is a ever-changing or rotating menu that is centered on the smash burger.
Oh.
Is Smash Burger, is that with egg and peanut butter? Or am I thinking
I think
something
smash burger,
else?
they just call it a smash. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure smash burger is just like, it's a ball of meat and then they go smash
okay.
burger.
That's it.
I think-
It's like
honestly, I think
seared,
that's it.
like you press it down into a really hot pan
Yeah.
and it sears it.
Isn't there a smash burger restaurant?
I don't know.
I'm not
is there?
100% sure.
I think there's a restaurant called Smash Burger. Pretty sure.
So is it kind of like
But I think that's like a,
crispy on the outside, still kind of pink in the middle? Kinda
must
deal?
probably.
Yeah, that
Probably.
sounds good.
I was thinking about
I
that
need
the
some
other
of that.
day. There should be a burger that's like got a nice kind of deep fried exterior, crispy and just buttery and good.
Well, actually, that's kind of how I think of the Culver's burgers.
Okay.
The butter burgers, right?
Butterburger,
They're,
yeah.
they're kind of like crispy on the outside.
Kinda, yeah.
What do you got?
Do you have any more the batteries died for the 4th angle?
No.
We ran the thing all day and they just died.
Oh.
It's not a big deal, but
Wait, is that Keith's angle?
it's the close up on Keith.
I don't need a close up.
So then, second technical thing: can somebody unhook the XLR from the mic that we're not using?
Oh, we're getting.
That's just going to add a little bit.
Oh, there's Batty.
I'm actually kind of happy I don't get a close up.
All right, that should be. So that mic and my mic are shared lines. There's no reason to have that plugged in if nobody's using it.
Got it, because it's tapping in.
Oh, okay. We need a technical difficulties emote for sure.
I will work on one.
Wait, all this happened during our commercial break, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just say I think you can't cut to a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have anything?
Do you have any
that-
chat, Chris?
So Cam says everything's better with hollandaise.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brad made a very inappropriate joke about smash burgers. And then he said that we need a technical difficulties emote.
that's pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Brad, let us know what you think of the new logo.
Brad. Shame on you.
Yeah. Oh, Al says we're definitely going to need some more sound treatment, but it sounds good for a first day.
For what it is.
Here,
Yeah.
from all the sound tests I've heard, it's kind of fun. We sound like we're at a convention doing a live show. It actually sounds like a live show.
Yeah.
That I've seen. So when you watch them pre-recorded, it's not like the best thing in the whole entire world, but it does sound like we're at like a convention speaking.
So we
to
just
bunch
need a
of people.
laugh track to make it sound like we have actually a lot of audience members instead of, just.
Or just get the
Or
audience pumped.
we need to
Right.
make the people who are actually here
Yeah,
laugh.
guys, come on. We need crickets, yeah.
I'm literally playing the crickets noise right now.
Yes.
Okay, Chris, just cut in whenever you want with chat. But so here's what my week looked like. The other day, we're all sitting around, not doing anything, and they thought it was a good idea to come up with a theme song for everybody. So there's been some really funny ones, and of course you can't pick your own.
No, of course you can.
So we have our youngster who's like 20, who has no respect for personal space. So he will come in and like force TikTok videos on you. He will come in and just stand over your shoulder. And you know what? I'm old. I've got to have my coffee in the morning. I want to be left alone. And I get bombarded. Do you know how many printers, we've talked about how many printers I install on a daily basis for people. I'm IT. I'm the go-to guy for questions. It's like when I'm in my cubicle, I want to be left alone. So when people just break that cubicle barrier and then they just hang out near me. It's just
Man, you really do sound like a grumpy old man.
the funny thing
When
is
people say hello to me, I just freak out.
Hey, Jeremy, I hope you're having a great day.
get away from me.
Someone's got a case on Mondays.
I don't joke with people. I'm like, hey, personal space. Remember how much I love my cubicle and my privacy. They're like, oh, you're so funny, Jeremy. It's like, you don't know. I really do. Like, I'm literally trying to tell you to step away.
Jeremy's going to snap at work one day.
So one of the theme songs we came up with was for Wyatt. They were like, all right, what would Wyatt sing? And it wouldn't be we had to make one. It's just like, what song exists that would explain this situation? And so for Wyatt, Dave started playing The Police, Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Oh,
And it was like just right on the money. It was super funny. I cannot remember the one we came up with for my coworker, Derek, but there's a running joke that one of my other coworkers is just a very hairy individual. So he just got a lot of hair, you know? And I've told a lot of jokes about him before, like, you know, he'll take a shirt off and be like, Pat, put you don't need a sweater in here, you know, and he's like, sure. I think I once saw a fly land on his arm and it got stuck. So there's a song and somebody did a remix of a song and it was like a really, really funny song about like falling in love with a hairy person. And it was like all the things like, if you don't have any back hair, you're not for me. And it's like, was really well done. So that one was super applicable to Pat. But now on to me. So it's funny to see how people perceive you, right? So the one character feature that everyone pulled out about me was apparently my baldness.
Yes.
So then they looked up bald theme songs and somebody did a parody to I'm Sexy and I Know It.
Yes.
But it's I'm bald and I know it.
Bald and I know it.
And they played it, and the song is really, really funny. So if you guys want to know what it sounds like, just go to YouTube and search I'm Bald and I Know It. And the song is it was really well done. It's only a minute and a half long, but that made me laugh. So I was thinking, like, I know it's on the spot, so we can let it simmer in the background. But Kara, I don't know if you have a theme song for Chris or one for Keith. But if or somebody can type into chat if they think any. Keith has been on
I think
enough.
Brad needs to be the one to pick those out.
Yeah, please supply us with theme songs.
I mean,
You're giving Brad homework now?
Here's the thing: Brad is good at these kinds of things. Just saying.
I'm sure he already doesn't, or
Like,
Swanky doesn't have a cheeky response or
As
something.
everybody who's watched the podcast knows, I lived a very sheltered life, so I don't have this wide range of songs.
Well,
that
neither do they
everybody
apparently. They had to Google them.
Okay, well, you're asking a 20-year-old.
Also, like, you could always just like pick some sort of hymnal, like, I don't know, I can't think of any because I don't go to church, but you could pick, you know, something.
Just an old hymn, just
Glory, praise be to he. That could be my theme song.
There's got to be a song with like about brownies, right?
there should be.
There's got to be something.
But it's got to fit him too, not just because it's got brownies in it.
Right. That's true.
So it's my theme song, Jeremy.
Well, that's why you can't put. I should have been prepared.
You should have been prepared.
But
kidding.
I don't know. And my coworker was just rattling him off so fast, and I was like, they had the bald one for me, and Don't Stand So Close.
Well, they had to Google the bald one for you. So I mean,
I think I know what mine is. So you guys know the song by Fun? It's Tonight We Are Young or something like that.
yeah.
There's a parody of that where it's Tonight We're Not Young, and it's all about like going to bed early and not doing anything. I want that to be my theme song.
I feel that's me. I go to bed when Chip goes to bed. Like, that's it. I'm done.
David just posted a behind the scenes photo of the new studio on Discord. So if you want to hop over, you can actually see a new behind the scenes photo of what everything looks like. So that's kind of fun.
Cool.
And then, so that's available on Discord, which Chris, you got to make a command so people could just type in !Discord and it should link them to the Discord, which would be kind of cool. But one of my themes, so there is, I think it was like by, you know, the two big like YouTubers around here. There's like Dude Dad and then there's the You Betcha guy.
Mm-hmm.
They did a one. It was like, what if men threw a party or whatever, like guys over 40 or people over 40. And so like they're all walking in and they're all pretending to be dads, or it was a dad themed party. So one of them runs in and they're like, where's the thermostat? You know, and then like somebody runs in and so then it's like, who left the door open? And then it cuts to outside and they all like creak as they sit down. And it was super funny. So one of the things I talked about, so I just had my physical fitness test this last weekend. And well, you guys, yeah, I would have passed it by the last podcast actually, but now it really has sunk in how sore I am. And there's That's a story for another time, but exercise is one of the topics I want to talk about because it's like, oh my
What's
goodness.
exercise?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, exercise.
Exorcist?
Yeah, that one. I know that.
We're going to talk about exorcist.
I'm surprised you didn't do the exercise.
Exercise for bacon.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah, I mean,
That's good.
that's true. I don't do this thing exercise, but eggs are definitely sides for bacon. You need more bacon than eggs.
You just need more bacon, period.
Amen. True.
So here's the fun thing about, so they changed the regulations now. So the military says, all right, look, it's like Office Space all over again. You've got to have flair, right? You got to be in shape.
Oh, Brad's throwing shade at you for being sore from a PFT.
I'm going to complain about this. It used to be pass fail. The test used to be you either passed or you failed. Okay. And then it didn't matter what score you got. It just was above a certain threshold. You were good. Annual requirement to take the test. Now they had to get that's not good enough. Now you have to have, 15 is the minimum, but now you got to have like 17 or you got to have more than the minimum. So here's how it works. You get a 75 or less, you fail. You got to take it again within 3 months. They put you on like a fit to fight program and then yada, yada, yada. Then if you get over a 75, you're good, you're passed. But if you don't get above a 90, then you got to take it in 6 months. So I got an 87.
Oh.
So now I have to take it again in 6 months.
So you might as well just not done any of the training that you did and gotten the fail anyway.
Okay, training he did? What?
Kara. I ran 15 times before my actual PT test.
You had 95 weeks in between tests and you ran 15 times.
Okay, so here's the thing. Jeremy, he was like, Kara, like this is months ago. He was like, Kara, I want you to be forcing me to do my sit-ups and my push-ups. You got to be forcing me every night. Tell me, do my sit-ups and push-ups. So what did I do for like a week? Jeremy, you got to go do your sit-ups and push-ups. Go on a run. Go do this, go do that. Oh, I'll do it later. No, Jeremy, go out and do it. I'll do it later. And did he do it later? No.
It sounds exactly like Jeremy. He's like,
Right.
I don't wanna.
Give me the angle, and I'll tell you really what happened.
No. That is what happened. I told you, and you didn't do it.
So let me give it to you from my point of view. I said, Kara, you got to remind me to do my push-ups and sit-ups, and you have to force me. And there's a very much so key word there of
Me.
force.
Okay.
As in force a person to do something. So Kara would go, Jeremy.
Okay, no.
9 o'clock. You haven't done your push-ups and sit-ups. Would it behoove you to partake of them at this moment? I'm like, Kara, I don't want to. She goes, okay, it's been a long day. You relax.
I behoove you to go and do your
Kara,
sit-ups and
you did not force me. You have
What
to
am I
remember.
supposed to do?
No,
Down to give me 20.
that's
Come on.
what I'm used to. At basic training, that's what they do.
All right, next PT test. It
I'm
is
literally
drill
just
sergeant
stuck in the middle of
It's
this.
happening. It is
What's funny?
happening.
At least
You're going
it used to be me
down.
and Kara, and then the guest. Right. So Keith is really stuck in the middle.
The guest used to be able to just kind of like, there's nowhere for me to go.
Mom and dad are
Just gonna
fighting. Oh
slowly
no.
Creep over the back of the
just
couch.
I need to be.
Just fall into infinite space.
I need to be forced, plain and simple. If I get just, tiptoed around, I'm not gonna do it. Everybody's gonna put up resistance. What are you gonna do when like Chip tries to get away with something?
Okay,
huh?
Chip is different.
Are you gonna be like, oh, Chip, would it behoove
I'm
you to
gonna
brush
mom
your
voice
teeth
him.
right now? No,
You're so funny.
Go to there and brush your teeth right now.
you need to be forced.
He doesn't have enough teeth to brush yet.
I mean, he does have 8.
Because of that, I have to retake my PT test in 6 months.
Oh, so now it's my fault.
Yeah,
Not
Kara,
Jeremy.
how could you do this to Jeremy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't force Jeremy to do his sit-ups and push-ups.
So some other funny things that this leads into. So every year I do have to prepare for all 3 things. I do have to prepare for the run. Well, running a mile and a half is ridiculously difficult. I cannot stand running, and it's like
I'm
Talk to
sorry.
the guy who ran that marathon the first time.
yeah, well, to Pompeii, he died. He died.
He died.
Okay,
He did. The first guy who ran a marathon died.
okay, I heard that that's actually a lie.
No, he died.
Did he though?
He really
though? I
did.
don't
Hold
think
on.
He did.
I think he died.
It's fact checking time.
Let's fact
he
check this
did.
because I'm pretty sure I heard that
Hey, Brad,
was like a
fact
rumor.
check this, please.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris is going to take that into his own hands. So then push-ups, okay, tall people have a disadvantage when it comes to push-ups.
I agree
There's
with that.
a longer span for you to have to cover, and then We talk about a fulcrum point. It's physics. My weight in the middle of my body is pulling down, and there's less, there's a span. Push-ups are horrible.
In other words, Jeremy would make a very poor bridge.
Well, of course, 'cause there's a lot of weight. But sit-ups, absolutely.
Oh, you're right. He did die.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I really thought he
the
didn't.
story is commonly believed to be complete fabrication.
Isn't this like ancient Greece though?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
you
so
really
in,
know anything about
It's
ancient
like
Greece?
pre-Paul Revere,
And
like
Jeremy,
In
do
like
you want to talk about
490
a mile and a
BC.
half?
It's 490 BC.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Did he actually run the 26?
He ran from Marathon to Athens to tell people about the victory at the Battle of Marathon, which is 26.2 miles.
Okay.
So
And I was gonna say, don't talk to me about a mile and a half because I have done a full marathon.
So I heard, it's a big tangent. But anyway, so I was talking to people about running, and then they're like, oh yeah, I ran a marathon and a half marathon. And I'm like, you guys are all crazy. I've done a half marathon too, but I didn't like 1 minute of it,
Man.
So the funny story of why my sit-ups are good to go, okay? We have a golden retriever. He's getting older. And every night he likes to jump up on the bed. And I feel bad watching him jump up, and then his hips, his poor little dog hips. So
He's 7.
Kara and he's almost 8.
He's
oh my God, almost 8. What a
His
octogenarian.
birthday is in June.
No, he's
he is
almost
not almost
he's
8.
closer to
He
8
is
than
7 months, or 7 years and 3 months.
No.
Yeah.
You definitely made him out to be like 14.
He looks old.
And then we got a 17-year-old golden
You
retriever in our
can't
house.
undo joint damage. It's permanent, okay? It's like we're not going to get dog leg surgery. So Karen and I talked about
You would if you cared about him.
And
Yeah, Jeremy.
we
Bionic
lowered
dog.
our bed so the dog didn't have to jump up so high.
Oh.
And I literally think now when we get out of bed, we put our feet on the ground. I have to do a sit-up every morning to get out of bed. I'm not kidding, guys. I hammered out the 40 whatever sit-ups I needed, no problem. And it's because we lowered the bed. It's
So you need to set your
You're
bed up so you have to do a push-up to get into it. then.
No, that would be the worst.
Oh, I like that. Jeremy just gets on the floor next to the bed, pushes up, one arm up, other arm up, one leg up, other leg up. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
By that,
your bed isn't low
you're right,
enough
By
is
that
what you're
logic,
saying.
if one sit-up a day helps you, then one push-up a day should help you equally.
Come on, Jeremy.
But I'm not kidding though. It's improved my core strength. It
Also,
really has.
we have a whole bunch of floor space in front now. Do a push-up for us real quick.
I could,
Yeah,
but never,
Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Whoa, ooh, my shoulder.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so this is
I'll do
why
a
he
sit-up.
wouldn't do the push-ups and sit-ups when I told him to. Oh, I'm really sore in my back.
I'll do a sit-up and you can see how good that actually are. What's Brad saying?
He's lighting you up. Hold on a sec.
I know I've been watching this.
Okay, so he
I
says
picked a song for me too.
he did pick a song for you. He says Jeremy is so mission ready. Tax dollars at work. He's like, mile and a half. What that is?
It is brutal distance.
He said we had to run 3 miles. 18 minutes was a perfect score. And he's like, just 40 sit-ups? Holy crap, this is sad. We had to do 80. And
Brad-
Dave says, back to my previous comment, he's old. And Brad says pull-ups instead of push-ups. You'd prefer pull-ups.
I rather would.
I prefer push-ups over pull-ups any day.
Yeah, but
too.
with pull-ups, you'd have to do a lot less.
How many do you have to do?
I can't do one.
Oh, God. 10 pull-ups.
I can't even do one. I'm sitting there when I'm hanging, I'm like, and it just doesn't happen.
Kara,
Once you wrangle Chip a little bit more, you'll have the upper body strength to do pull-ups.
you used to be able to lift the big bowl of chilies or the big bowl of chili.
Okay, yeah, that was like forever ago.
Also, your whole body's involved in that lift motion, though. It's not just your arms. It's
So anyway, so my boss, okay, so back to the PT story. So my boss, all right, here's what's really fun. So I was going to break this down. So they made it the 6-month, 9-month thing, right? Now they've also changed the age ranges. So you've got 20 to 25-year-olds have a certain standard, 25 to 30, 30 to 35. So this is technically the toughest year there's going to be for me in a while because next year I fall into a new age range.
He's getting older.
basically dead.
Oh, so
So-
wait, can you
He
just
falls
like
into the geriatric
delay
range?
the test, delay
I-
the 6-month test until after your birthday?
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Yep. I think
Good.
I
Oh,
think
I
I'm
can't.
doing like
Gwen says you're a Jeremy-atric.
yeah. See, right? So technically, this will be this one was the hardest one for me. So my boss Okay. He's in the over 50 range. So all of his requirements, he gets to run slower and then do less,
eat more donuts.
Exactly. So he was really, really happy because again, if he got less than a 90, he would have to take it again in 6 months. He got over 90. So he's been running around just shouting out his number whenever anybody's like, somebody's arguing over the way like we should do something. Like, who's going to take out the garbage? And Brett's like, I don't care. I got a 91. We need your executive decision on this. It doesn't matter. I got a 91. He's just so happy because he doesn't have to do it again. And this is what's fun is there's people who can like gut it out every year. Like they don't do any training at all. And they just get out and they pull it from wherever they need to pull it from. It's like the old lady when she sees a child into the car and she just lifts the entire thing to save it.
I mean, I think that's a mom, not an old lady.
Well, no, I think.
Am I an old lady to you?
No, there's like a 91-year-old woman who lifted a car off a baby. She did. She summoned the strength because she tried to sit.
I've always
Brad, can you please look this up for us?
I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard that's a mom. Like the adrenaline you get when you see your child trapped, you're like Hulk.
But isn't it more impressive if the woman is older?
But is it true or is it false?
I think it's probably true.
These are 91-year-old woman lifts car.
Just old woman lifts car is all. That's all. Anyways, so that wrapped up. I'm super sore. What is going on?
The top result. This suspect runs over 90.
I can't understand.
Suspect runs over 91-year-old woman.
It's the exact opposite.
So 91 isn't lifting cars, but getting run
over by cars, yeah.
Well, there was a guy in a wheelchair who got stuck in front of a semi truck. Yeah, there's a guy crossing the road and the semi driver didn't see him and he got stuck in the grill and he's going 35 down the road, riding the wheelchair. And then some people are trying to get him to stop. Chris, pull up that article.
I was still trying to recover from laughing. What did you say?
Wheelchair stuck in front of semi.
Oh my God, but the guy made it?
Oh, he lived, yeah.
How hilarious. Can you imagine having that story to tell? Yeah, my wheelchair got stuck in front of a semi. I was going 70 down the freeway.
It's like a Chevy Chase movie.
Right.
These things don't really happen.
Chris, are you looking it up? Oh, he's pulling it up for us here.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to watch it?
Man, wheelchair on
you
wild
go,
ride. Grand
There's
Rapids,
an electric
Michigan.
one too.
Is the audience seeing this as well?
No, they can. Just give me 1 second here.
Oh, Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's not far from here.
So Ben Carpenter got the ride of his lifetime when his electric wheelchair became lodged in the grill of a semi-trailer and was accidentally pushed down a highway for several kilometers at 80 kilometers an hour.
Oh my gosh.
His father was incredulous when police called him when 20-year-old son was okay after the ride. I said, what happened? He said his son had started to cross an intersection west of Detroit where the truck had stopped for a red light. The light changed to green while he was still in front of the semi, which started moving forward. It bumped the side of the wheelchair, which started turning forward, its handles becoming lodged in the grill, and the wild ride had started.
Oh my gosh.
Truck driver couldn't see him, and that's the end of the story.
So, so here's some crazy things I've seen before. I have been driving down the road. I've seen delivery doors, like on the back of a delivery vehicle, swing open. Absolutely. I've seen it happen a second time and people in the back behind the third time. Like they weren't back there. They were like hauling furniture or whatever, and they were just back there keeping it stabilized. But the door swings open, and there's people back there. It's like, oh, hello. And then let's see what other crazy things. We were overseas, and there's a flatbed truck with a bunch of chain link fence pieces on it. We're coming around the corner, and the strap broke, and the chain link fence just flew across our lane and almost hit us.
And it perfectly embedded itself in the fence up on the side of the highway.
Yeah, right. And then flipped up.
I almost got impaled on the drive home from Disneyland. Remember, I was driving and that semi lost a big old chunk of metal that came flying.
Oh, that's right, in Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa.
The worst state in the union.
I was once driving to Bayfield for work, and I was behind the semi, and a strap came loose, and it started dragging behind the semi, but the strap kept on getting coming off.
It was loosening itself.
It was loosening itself. It was self-loosening, and there was a hook on the bottom.
Ooh.
Right? So this thing is coming closer and closer. So I'm just slowing down until this strap is it's I don't know, a quarter mile long. It is crazy
insane.
long. So once we get to an area, if you know the drive to Bayfield, where all of a sudden it turns from one lane to two lanes, I floor it
Yeah.
to get alongside this guy. Cause I'm like, I gotta warn him. Cause I'm like, it's gonna hook a car and
Yeah,
destroy the car, or it's gonna hook a
absolutely.
tree and destroy the truck. Like something horrible is
Yeah.
gonna happen. So I like speed next to this guy and I'm like, honk, honk, honk. And I'm like, I like point at the guy and I'm like, you got a thing back there. And he obviously couldn't hear me, but he saw me pointing crazily. And then he
There's a
started to pull
gremlin on
over.
the wing.
But I was like, this is like Final Destination right now. This quarter-mile long, like unbreakable strap connected to a hook is being dragged at 50
It's
miles
just
an
gonna
hour.
fling one way and then come
Oh.
flinging in your window.
Yeah,
and
something horrible. is
Well, yeah,
gonna
it hits a weird bounce and like shoots up and comes right down into someone's car. That's
So-
dangerous.
How hard does it hurt when someone like snaps you with a towel? Could you imagine a snapping toe strap? Like,
Oh my god.
With a metal
jumping
hook
around
on
like
the
a
end.
snake.
Yeah.
Keith, you met a real life automobile boss. That's like a final boss. I swear. It's
Oh yeah.
you gotta like get past him without getting taken out by
Yeah. It was intense. I passed that video game level for sure.
Level 100 dexterity.
I had heard a funny so we got, at least talk about Star Wars to keep the branding. Just kidding. No, we don't. But talking about, old, and the lady getting the 91-year-old. I saw a funny picture and it was like Watto in a wheelchair, and he goes, I used to own Darth Vader. And they're like, sure, Grandpa Wampa or Grandpa Watto. And he's like, no, I'm serious. It was just, that one really made me laugh.
That's actually really funny.
That's pretty good.
So, but anyway, so that's over. I'll have to readdress this in 6 months, but it's just, we've been so busy trying to get all the like equipment down here and get all this set up that, it's been go since we bought the building. So it's like, I did not have a lot of time, and Kara is horrible at forcing me to do things. So.
Oh, I thought you were saying Kara's horrible at helping.
No.
I have a child to watch at home, so
I feel really bad because she is doing chip duty way more than she.
Well, he's getting raised appropriately at least.
So flying around is a fly, and it can be somewhat annoying. Kara, why don't you tell us what happened today?
I was drinking a root beer.
Brad says we need a child excuse emote.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna have a sweet emote pack. That's all I'm saying.
I'm working on them. Anyway, so I had a root beer that I'd been sipping on for a while, and I had placed it on the floor next to me, and I got busy talking with people.
And somebody brought you food.
And Jeremy brought me food. So I'm holding Chip, and I go to eat my food. And as I'm bringing this pulled pork sandwich to my face, some of the pulled pork falls and lands on the floor right next to my root beer can, okay? So I'm like, dang it. I noticed Jeremy finished eating. I handed Chip off, finished my sandwich, and then I go to finish drinking my root beer. And I get to the very bottom, last swig. I go, suck it down. I feel there's something in that swig, and I'm like, oh, it's just a piece of the pulled pork. Right? It fell next to the can. That's all it is. So I spit it out into the rim of the can, and it was a fly. And it was still alive.
Ooh.
Oh my God. What a horrible day for that
I felt a little bit on the
fly.
gaggy side. I was like,
Ugh.
That fly was living his best life though. He was like, this is the best thing that could have happened. All the sugar.
All of the sugar for him to sit
yeah,
there.
now I've got all the nasties.
I was thinking, it's like, how many like turds has that fly touched?
Ew, just don't. Just don't.
Poor Kara. So I mean,
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
well, do people
Who done 218 says better than a hornet?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh man. So
That's true, but flies are
At work the other day, I was sitting talking to somebody, and the world's largest bee landed on the back of his neck. I mean,
Was Guinness there to confirm?
this thing was bigger than my thumb. It was not anywhere near a hornet type. It was just, it had big bumbly body with the big hairy backside. But it
Are you
was
sure this
like-
wasn't you?
Well, no, it was massive. And so he had no idea. So then he just like reaches up to feel what's bugging him, and he puts his hand over this big bee, and then it like freaks out. So he grabs it and he just chucks it, and he threw it right at Pat. And it actually hit Pat in the arm. And again, Pat's really hairy, so it kind of got stuck. So Pat's like, whoa, like karate chops his bee, and I'm watching the whole thing go down. And I'm like, I could have seen that, like, dude, don't touch it. Leave it alone. Like it's
Are you
a
Keanu
massive
Reeves?
bee. And what now?
I said, you Keanu Reeves.
Right,
Whoa,
right.
dude, don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
I think your workplace is like the lost season of MASH.
Well, so here's the thing. You guys are in charge of our national security. Yeah. You guys are doing a Three Stooges movie.
I have absolutely told this story, but I feel like I could address it to Keith really quickly. Did you hear about the squirrel story in the airbase?
I did not.
Okay, really quickly, I'll just tell you
Give me
this
the
quick
abridged
story.
version.
So this one guy, like the movie Hacksaw Ridge, right?
Yeah.
It's about a pacifist during war.
Yeah.
There's a person I know who was a pacifist, but he's in the military, so he like doesn't want to hurt anything. And so he had a squirrel problem at his house, and people are like, just trap it and kill it or whatever. And he's like, no, not hurt the squirrels. So he gets a live trap, and he live traps this squirrel, right? Well, the guy drives a classic Corvette everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. So he has the squirrel in his Corvette, and he lets it out of the live trap. And what he was going to do is when
in the car?
Yeah, in the car. So he was going to drive it after. So he leaves for work in the morning. The squirrel is out in the car, not in the trap. He gets to work, and then after work, he was going to leave.
So he's going to leave a squirrel in his Corvette for like 24 hours.
No. He got it in the live trap. In the morning, he lets it go in his car, shuts the doors, then drives to work. And then after work, he was going to drive and
What
release the
season
squirrel.
was this?
Why would he?
Why would he even take it out of the trap?
It gets even better. You guys don't remember this?
I do, but like,
I don't think I ever heard this
fall,
story.
winter, spring, summer?
So it gets better. It's in the spring.
It's in the spring, so
better.
it could get hot in the car, and the poor squirrel could bake to death.
He gets to work, and he opens the door, and the squirrel gets out at the airbase. So then he's like, well, it took off until he looks out in the flight line, which is a secure area, and the squirrel is out by the airplanes. He's running around freaking out thinking, if anybody traces that squirrel back to me, I'm so The squirrel is like taunting him as it's running around outside. He's worried about it getting, sucked up because there's like bird strikes. So like, sir, there's FOD in the engine. What is it? It's a squirrel? So, yeah, because they have all these like bird mitigation like things that they do to like keep the birds away and everything like that.
And squirrels can't really get in through fence holes.
Yeah, they're so, I guess what? All the trees are cut back from the fences. Okay. So I'd imagine like, what's their motivation to go through the fence and then keep going when it's just so flat? So they might not normally have a problem, but to me, no one's gonna know the squirrel came from somebody. But yeah,
it's like this squirrel's definitely been in a Corvette. Look how cool he is.
Well, of course, he's got sunglasses and aviator leather jacket.
Okay, I just don't understand why he felt the need to like keep it in his car at all. Well, he caught it, just like bring it somewhere and let it go. It's
funny to me that he let it out of the live trap or whatever.
Just keep it in there. He's not worried about it ruining the interior of his car.
Some things are worth sacrificing for, I guess.
Jeez, okay.
So yeah, that was a really funny one. So
ridiculous. Some people's kids.
So anyway, that was all because Kara drank a fly. Is what
did the squirrel ever get caught, or is that just the end of the story?
No, it's just the end of the story. Like he just saw it and he was worried about getting busted, but it must have let itself out. I don't know.
Yeah, it just took a jet and flew over to Russia.
I'll just let myself out now.
Yeah. It was just too funny. So yeah, anyway, so Kara drank a fly and that one just cracks me up. So.
And I agree with Kessel. Welcome, who done?
Oh, is there a new person?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, new person. We are so glad.
Well, they said that they're in the studio, so I'm guessing it might be somebody here.
You're in the studio. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Fine.
Oh, it's Ashley. We got the old double reverse.
Funny.
Yes,
so another
Ashley.
funny thing is, we've talked about Ted Lasso in the past. I absolutely love Ted Lasso, and he's just ridiculously wholesome. So there was a story I read a while ago, and I figured I would just share with you all.
All right. Can I pause you real quick because we do have Brad did say something about the theme songs.
Get caught up on chat.
Well, this is the only thing is like he's already posted it twice, and I don't think I'm ignoring him. I just didn't know when to bring it up. But he said that Kara's theme song should be "Girl on Fire" by Alicia Keys.
Yes, this girl is on fire.
Nation.
Yeah,
because she's Fire Nation. See, that's the type of
Brad,
witty
you
things
said
that I love.
I'm Earth Nation.
I think he's given up on that. We've convinced him. You've convinced him through your thoughts and actions that your true nature.
You can read my thoughts, like.
Well, the thoughts that you express. Well, he is a telepath, but that's unrelated.
Okay, fine, whatever.
I'm just making up my own history now. So I'm trying to think. The only song I can think of for Keith is Weird Al Yankovic's "Nature Trail to Hell."
Yeah, Nature Trail to Hell
in 3D.
I love Weird Al. I love that song. That's I love you, Brownie.
So
We
I
have
can't think of
another
one for Jeremy.
Chris.
Well, I already had the I'm bald. And
Yeah, that's your work theme song.
Oh, I need to at podcast.
Is there songs about
Yeah.
Neanderthals?
Yeah. If we're doing commercials, it could be the Geico. It's so easy a caveman could do it once.
I said this earlier, and I didn't realize I was actually quoting Star Wars, and this kind of just made my day. So Karis called me a Neanderthal earlier, and I thought, who's a bigger Neanderthal, the Neanderthal or the Neanderthal who marries a Neanderthal, right? It'd probably be the person who marries.
That's like saying who's more foolish, the fool.
Bingo, and Obi-Wan said that to Han, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yes, that is a Star Wars quote. He goes, oh, just falling around this old fool. And he's like, who's a bigger fool, the fool or the fool who follows the fool? Right? That's totally Star Wars, A New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Obi-Wan. Oh, and
I do too.
Alec Guinness.
So
Ewan McGregor.
Brad says Jeremy's song is The Story by Brandy Carlisle.
Oh, there you go.
I think that fits.
Stories.
Yeah,
I always tell stories. All right, so we're going to enter into my just cute little Ted Lasso portion of the podcast where I have a funny story.
I'm not making a graphic for this.
You don't have to.
This is the Ted Lasso portion of the story.
It's like, because Ted Lasso's so happy and he's so nice. But anyways, I just read this story a while ago and I figured I would share it with you all because it's a little bit heartwarming. So there was a dad who used to have a monkey that his daughter gave him and he set it on the dash of his truck and it existed.
Oh, so it wasn't a living monkey.
No.
You didn't specify.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was a living
If
monkey
this
at the
story was
beginning.
interesting, I
Is there
would have
song
figured a
called
live
Mr.
monkey.
Literal? All right. So back to the monkey. So anyways, the dad had this monkey riding around with him wherever he would go, and it would like remind him of his daughter. And so as he was driving around, one day he opened his vehicle door, and then he got back in, and then drove home, and the monkey was gone. And they looked everywhere for this monkey, and they lost this stuffed monkey. And he was really, really, really sad about losing his stuffed monkey. So his daughter went out. She looked online, and she was able to find the exact monkey and ordered one like off eBay. But it gets even cuter. So then she took it with her for a while. She put a little hat on it. She put a little briefcase, and then she photographed it around various places that she went to. And she sent it back to her dad with a letter and said, dear father, or, whatever the monkey would refer to him as, like, dear so-and-so. Thank you
Dear
for
not
all the
real
years
monkey
of,
owner.
riding around in your truck. But I just had to take a little vacation to see the world. And now I've seen what I needed to see, and I'm back to riding your truck. And and so then he could put it back in there. And
That's
just
adorable.
to put the afterthought and care into creating a backstory of why the monkey was gone, to make that transition, right? Because like kid will lose a goldfish and you can just like buy him a new one and say it's the same goldfish. But if the kid's smart enough, they'll know like, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Bubbles had 2 eyes and this one, right?
I've never seen a goldfish with an eye patch before.
Eye patches are coming back. So anyways, so the fact that like she did it, that's what just separates, I guess it just shows someone's love for one another. And that one, I thought it was like the cutest thing because of what she did was above and beyond what needed to be done. She could have just said, "Your dad, I got your replacement monkey." But no, she was like,
well, I'm waiting for the first one to come back, and all of a sudden it's like the evil twin is returning, and it turns into a big soap opera.
Yeah,
It's like, do you guys remember Lasso, Huggy Bear from Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
We got replaced. Come on, big baby.
Lasso was actually pretty creepy. Like when you watch the show, right? Is he had the with the heart on? Like
Oh,
The
yeah.
purple one?
the stuffed bear.
Yeah.
He's got the cane.
Toy Story
Yep.
2?
3.
3. That was 3.
Yeah.
That's the one where they almost get melted down, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
It's been a long time.
Sorry, I
since I've
make
seen that one.
every little conversation about movies, guys.
No. That's
So it's supposed to be a Star Wars pop culture kind of show, and 9 times out of 10, that's not what we talk about. So
Yep.
That's okay.
being put back on track is a good thing.
Well, it's sad enough. So, did you guys have a fun movie detail I saw? Is who has seen Up?
Oh, yeah.
Up,
Yeah.
right?
Up.
Okay, at the beginning.
Is it up or upright?
Oh, you're so funny.
Okay.
So Up, Pixar with the balloons and everything, right? So everybody loves, it's a beautiful love story told in the first couple of minutes of that movie, right? So a movie detail that I had missed was when it shows the two of them, the old man and his wife falling in love, shows 3 separate scenes where she's tying his tie. Then when she passed away and he's going to like lift his house up, he wears a bow tie. And that's because she is no longer with him to tie his tie. So even at her funeral, it shows him wearing a bow tie. And I was like, that is a really adorable little movie detail. And I bring that up because of the voice actor for Up passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And
Why are you bringing us down, Jeremy?
I bring you up and then I bring you down.
Well, I got a little bring us back up. So, right, I think like the same week that it's Ed Asner, right?
Yes,
The same
yep,
week
yep.
that Ed Asner passed away. On Disney Plus, they released a series of Pixar shorts, like starring the old guy with his dog, and I forget what they're called. But I watched the first one with my daughter, and it was awesome.
Aww.
So it's like the up story continues, and they're really
With Doug?
good. Yes, that's his name. And actually, I think the series is called like Doug the Dog or something like that.
I love Doug.
Yeah,
He is so
it's really good.
He's hilarious. He's a standard golden.
Yeah, his literal comprehension of the world. My owner made this collar for me so I could talk. And then, Squirrel. Yeah, it's amazing. I love Up. Pixar does such a good job. I was reading something else too. The guy, the CEO for Pixar, it was the CEO for Pixar.
Glad
They
you
were
were
like a
able to
failing
confirm it for
company,
yourself.
right? They were
Are you talking
failing.
Ed Catmull?
Did he start DreamWorks? He went off to start.
Oh no.
So,
different guy.
I don't think he was
Pixar
with Disney.
was spun off from ILM.
Yeah.
Here's what it was.
Well,
He
not
Disney
exactly.
he
Renaissance.
helped. Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion
Where did you
King.
get all this?
Facebook, I think.
Well, look at you. Reading the internet. Kara needs her own
My
pulse of the internet
heartbeat is
shirt.
on the pulse of the internet, guys.
Kara, take it. Finish it off. It's dope.
Well, so
where is it? There it is.
He came up with he made like The Lion King, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, all like the Disney Renaissance ones. And then did he ask for a promotion
I think he wanted to
or a
do his
raise
own
or
movie
something?
pitch. Yeah, he wanted
and
to,
Disney was like, nah. And so I heard he was fired, but then I read something else and said he actually quit.
quit and left. Yeah.
And then he went and he started DreamWorks.
Oh,
And
wow.
so he
So here's
ended
what's
up like
funny.
Shrek and Madagascar and El Dorado and all the movies and TV shows, Kipo included from DreamWorks.
You know, it's funny if Disney had just held on to that guy, they might not have had to acquire Pixar.
Right. Yeah.
Because Disney was failing at the time.
Yes, they were before the Renaissance, like before those movies came out,
Yeah.
like The Lion King and things like that.
Yeah, they had a series of box office bombs.
Well, and what's funny about the movies that they show that he did, they were all very similar to the Disney equivalents, I guess. Madagascar probably is kind of similar to Lion King. You
Yeah.
got the shark movie that's like Finding Nemo, kind of, right? Like
The shark
the
movie.
shark movie. Isn't that the
Thinking
one?
of
That
Shark
was Bruce,
Tale.
but Shark Tale.
I don't think there's really any similarity to Finding Nemo to me. But they're just both
Well,
set
underwater, like
underwater.
the
Aquatic
Visually,
theme.
maybe.
themed, I
Yeah.
guess.
Hey, Swanky's finally here.
Geez, Swanky.
Is it?
Day
You,
late,
you
dollar
can
short.
see the thing, right?
Nope, the chat.
Yeah.
No, we don't see chat anymore.
I see it on my phone right now.
this didn't switch over. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's back? I don't know what's going on. It was on 2 for a while when you read us that wheelchair article.
Oh, did I never switch it back from that?
Well, you switch. It's back to the HDMI 1.
Oh, weird. Okay. Well, I was trying to show that whole time Kara was doing her bit. I had the heartbeat on the pulse of the internet T-shirt on top of her.
Oh, funny.
Yes.
Anyway,
No, I see. I have my phone up watching Twitch over here, so I
Okay.
see what Swanky says.
so Swanky said, "Holy big space! I feel like you're in a galaxy far, far away in the new
Oh,
place." And he says, "Hello,
yeah.
by the way."
What would Swanky's theme song be? Brad, come up with one for Swanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad, do all of our
We
work
just yell
for
at Brad
us.
to do everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, you should do it.
I'm Girl on Fire, I guess.
I'm balding and I know it.
I'm Nature Trail to Hell in 3D.
And I don't get one.
Nope.
We gotta think of one for Chris. We really do.
What's the other police song that's not "Don't Stand So Close to Me"? That's
One message in a bottle.
"I've Been Watching You" or something like that.
Oh, every
Yeah,
breath
every
you
step you
take.
take.
Every step. There you go, Chris. Well, you watch us all the time.
What,
You edit
you
the
think I'm
podcast,
stalking
film the
you?
podcast.
You asked me to
Your
be
joke
here.
at Disney was that you were in a bush with a camera. So I'm just saying. Yeah.
That's because I'm trying to stay out of the shot, not because I'm stalking you.
There you go. That's Chris's theme song. All right. So just cruising right along. All right. So a fun thing that I was reading about is there's like a fun topic for everybody is what are some things that the world would be better off without? And then
Spiders.
So,
spiders
Oh,
are
no, hold on.
absolutely
We need
necessary.
Yes,
spiders.
no.
We need
no.
spiders.
Wood ticks.
No, we need those too for some
well,
reason.
so here, let's
Centipedes
just.
and millipedes.
Okay.
We don't need those.
Go ahead,
Okay, sorry,
Chris.
Chris.
Well, I was going to say, so think a little bit about the things that you think the world would be better off with without.
Yep.
And then Maz the Spaz says, do you think the upcoming theater release of Lord of the Rings on IMAX should have been the extended version?
Oh,
Wait, they're putting Lord of the Rings back out on IMAX?
Are we
Yeah,
just
that's
not cool
awesome.
enough up here to get that? Because I have heard nothing about
Well,
that.
we don't have
Technically
IMAX
have an
theaters
IMAX
up here.
anymore, yeah.
Yeah, we've got.
What's at the?
That's just a regular theater now.
What is it called? Their
Ultra screen.
Ultra screen.
Screen.
I'm not going to talk crap.
Wait. Oh my gosh.
It's
It
not-
is the 20 year of Lord of the Rings. December 13th?
Well, it looks like it was earlier this year.
Maz just blew Kara's mind.
February 5th, 2021, The Fellowship of the Ring. February 12th was Two Towers and Return of the King.
Maz, I do think it should have been extended. I'm extended
Well,
to
here's
bus
the
these
problem.
days.
Hold on. What's the runtime for Return of...
Super fans like Kara would watch the raw footage
Oh
if
yeah.
given the choice.
We
So-
had those big box sets, and my brothers and I, we would take the extra discs and we would watch all the behind the scenes stuff and everything from Lord of the Rings.
4.1 hours for Return of the King extended.
I take it back. Regular version, theatrical.
No.
Nobody can sit on their butt for 4.1 hours
I
Wait,
can.
4.1 hours
for
per-
just a
For
little
just
film.
Fellowship of the... Or, sorry, just Return of the King.
Just think about it, guys.
Yeah,
Flying
that's a
from
long movie,
here
but-
to Europe, you could watch 2 of the extended Lord of the Rings movies.
well, then
How
you'd be like, oh, I
glorious
didn't
would
get to
that
see
be?
the third one.
Wait, wasn't Brad disappointed in my runtime earlier? I might not be fast, but I'm lethal in the short run or whatever. There we go. I don't need to run long distance.
Lethal in short distances.
Lethal at short distances. That's some Gimli for everybody.
Matt says they'd watch the raw footage.
Yes.
So would Kara. Yeah.
Yep, Maz, you know where
I mean, I enjoy the films, but it's like...
No, Kara would watch them apply makeup to Orlando Bloom or whatever.
So she would just watch like the 26 month long beginning to end live feed of making
Yes.
Lord of the Rings.
I totally would have. Like, if I wasn't, 13 at that point?
I'm
It's just like a month of Bilbo just hiking.
Yes.
Brad says, let's just hope the enemies are close to you then.
Kara is ridiculous when it comes to Lord of the Rings stuff. Chris really wrote a whole episode of a game we used to do just to try to stump Kara, and it didn't even come close to even one wrong.
Yep.
So
that,
it didn't.
that was
it
the
didn't
first
even
thing we
air.
ever. That was the first thing we ever produced that I didn't even put out.
We didn't air it because there was no drama to it whatsoever. It was
Cam would
I'm
watch the raw footage
sorry.
too. All of you guys, no wonder you guys are watching us. You like long, boring things that don't go anywhere.
Guys, we need a raw footage watch party.
Good luck stealing that from Peter Jackson's house.
Keith, have you heard about the artist over in Europe who protested their movie review process?
No.
So there's
Tell me.
to get the like ratings, right? Like rated R, R7, whatever, 17, and PG, you know, all that. Their Europe system or the British system, there's these rules you have to follow, and in boycotting of it, somebody didn't get the rating they wanted for a movie. So to get back at them, they literally have to watch like every frame of the movie and whatever.
I have heard of this.
And so it was either just white screen or it was them painting and then letting the paint dry, and the total runtime of the movie was 26 hours.
And they made them watch it.
And they made them watch it, but to get back at him, the rater actually rated it, and like he like watched the entire thing to prove like you can still try to show the man, and I will show you.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
can't
like,
fight City Hall.
You can't fight
Wow.
City Hall, and he actually watched it. So it's he submitted a 26-hour white paint drying movie for them to watch.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
6 hour. I wonder, did he like hide frames of anything? Like,
Oh, I wish
He
he
should've.
was.
Oh
to,
yeah,
like,
yeah, like
test
a
it.
Fight
Yeah,
Club.
right.
to like see like, oh,
Yeah.
well, you didn't watch it because
Yeah, you
I
didn't
hid
watch
this
it.
like I hid this horrible shot in there, and you clearly didn't
Yeah,
see.
like a picture of his butt.
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm going for a G rating.
like the end of Fight Club, and
Yep.
they show all these flash frames.
again, we didn't even get a computer lab in school until I was in middle school. So before that, there was just no computers. So it makes me laugh when like teachers, there must have been a book like in the president gets that like what you have to do to troll your students. Because did you ever have I had one teacher do this. You read, I think it was a math test. It was like, you read through it and they say, follow all the directions. And so it was like, do this and then do this. And then
I
do
know
this.
exactly what
And you
you're
get to the
saying.
very last, it doesn't really happen. You get to the very last thing and it said, don't do anything of the above. Like just put your pencil down. And
I think that was in like the 5th grade. I remember this exactly.
remember that?
Like somebody proctors this thing or whatever. They're like they give you like 35 minutes to do this test,
Yep.
and it's like 50 questions or something. So you like feel like there's pressure to get it done.
Yep.
And you go through this whole thing, and there's things like, punch a hole through the piece of paper, yell the word chicken really loud, and
Yep.
all these things. So you hear all these people doing this, and like you see this stuff, and it gets to the very end, and it's like, ignore all above directions.
Yep.
And
Wow.
just turn your test over face down.
Yep. And
So what is the resulting grade? Or is it just
it would
big
be
joke?
a pass fail.
it would be like a pass fail, yeah. And
Wow.
so and it was like the first one was like read all directions.
Oh,
And then the second,
gotcha.
but then so people would read, but they would do as go. But it was like read all directions first or something. And there was always like 2 or 3 students that were smart enough to whatever. But as everybody else is yelling out chicken, like if you made it.
Yep, I definitely made the mistake.
Yeah, because
That's funny.
it was a troll, and there was somewhere I was going with it. It was because of your hidden message in the white screen. It was like if you actually pay attention, it was to teach you to. When the teachers tell you something, pay attention to detail. That classic lesson.
Right.
I think what it taught me was like the tests are out to punish you as opposed to actually determine your level of skill.
Right. Oh man. But where did they figure all that stuff out? Because it's like I've heard other stories and stuff of being posted on there that
We got some chat going on.
got some
here.
chat, and we still have things we would be better out without. And Kara's trying to bring down the entire ecosystem of the planet by removing spiders.
Yeah, that would be awful. We'd have so many bugs.
Okay, I think the world would be better without bugs and other food sources for birds and other ways to pollinate fruits and trees and all the food sources.
Here's why Kara's mad. She was let down by a spider today. I just want to say there's already a couple flies in this building, which it's not bad. There's a couple flies.
We've got Ryan in the fly trap more than we've got flies.
Kara, imagine how many more flies there would be if there wasn't spiders in the building with webs catching and eating.
That's why I said
flies.
no bugs.
Well, no, but then
Well, bugs is way too broad of a category. That'd be like saying no food.
That's why I said alternate ways to pollinate things.
Like
And
what?
God,
Like a
get
dude with a
bees.
syringe?
Kara, you can't get rid of the bees.
How we can keep bees.
Just keep spiders.
No.
So I can give some examples that I thought were kind of fun. Let me go back to my list here, but
Well, really quick, I've been meaning to say this, and Jeremy keeps talking. Maz, did you hear that Howard Shore is going to be coming and composing the music for the Lord of the Rings Amazon show?
Hey, did I ever tell you guys about my Lord of the Rings concert experience?
No.
I went to Radio City Music Hall in like 2008 in New York City and saw a live 100-piece orchestra play the score to the Fellowship of the Ring theatrical version in front of IMAX size projection of the movie.
Gosh.
It was amazing. And so
My level of jealous is through the roof.
it was awesome. And so they left, so we're watching the movie and they left the sound effects and voice tracks in the movie, but they were the levels were brought down. So you could just, in the music parts, you could just really hear the music. And obviously anybody there was a big fan of the movie. So it's what's going on story-wise and dialogue. You don't need to hear it. It's just kind of there in the background.
Yeah.
But when the orchestra is playing, it's all orchestra. And then the orchestra, there's sections of the movie without music. And then they'd bring back up the sound effects and vocal tracks that you could pay attention and stuff. But it was one of the coolest movie experiences and one of the coolest live music experiences.
Oh yeah.
I'm so
It was
envious.
awesome.
That'd be
And so-
amazing.
And they did all 3 movies in different tours. I only saw the first one, but it was pretty insane.
That's sweet.
So having him back for the Amazon series, that's really smart. But on the other hand, is Howard Shore the only thing that they're bringing back?
I think, well, here's the thing. This does not, I don't think this coincides at all with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This is thousands of years before. So there's going to be young Galadriel. And
Okay.
so this is way back.
But it's same continuity, technically, right? They're not reimagining the universe.
no,
It's not a
imagine
reboot.
Radagast would still be around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gandalf, all the old. So I'm sure Thranduil will probably be around, Galadriel, Celeborn, the elves. A lot of the elves will be around. The Ents, maybe we'll see Entwives. Who knows? I don't think there's any writings except the Ents talking about missing the Entwives. It'd be really cool if there was stuff about the Entwives.
Are they pulling stuff from, what's that big?
Silmarillion.
Yes.
The
Are they
Silmarillion?
pulling stuff from that, or are they just
I'm
making up
guessing
these stories?
so. There's a bunch. There's the book. There's the Unfinished Tales, Book of Lost Tales, Silmarillion, Children of Húrin. I think Christopher Tolkien just released a new one. I think Christopher Tolkien's dead, but there was one that he was working on before he passed away, and I think that just got released.
So the
So there's a
showrunners,
bunch to take from.
that's good. The
Yeah.
showrunners can't go rogue because like the fan, the hardcore fans would like crucify them.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you can't just make stuff up.
I mean, they're gonna have to like.
They did with
I'm
The
sure make a
Hobbit.
lot of their own
Yeah,
dialogue.
that's true.
It's true.
And I mean, those movies are not good though.
I like Thor and Oakenshield, and like the characters are so cool. But yeah, it's just like they added they. Sometimes you subtract stuff, but you subtract by adding stuff, and it gets to be, not as fun.
Yeah.
All right, any chat you want to talk about?
I was trying to catch up on chat, and then you started talking about Kara's bug thing and went on this whole other thing. So all the chat from before, I still have to do.
All right, Chris, take us into chat.
All right, so that test you were talking about, Cam said he had that in a science class, similar type of
See,
thing.
Cam had one.
Asher says, I remember when we first got computers at school, learning the basics of paint and the correct way to search for things on the browser. It's like, search for dog plus cute,
I remember
quotation
that.
marks,
Netscape
LOL.
Navigator.
Yeah.
Swanky says, going to have to randomly scream out chicken from now on.
I'm taking a test.
Let's see here. Let's see. Did you guys see everyone? Did you see the guy? Oh, did you see the guy everyone thinks is cast as Adam Warlock for the MCU? Kind of looks like him.
Okay.
Huh.
The
I didn't know
internet
they were doing Adam
is
Warlock.
losing their mind because did you guys hear it was voice cast as Mario in the next Mario?
I did,
movie?
yeah.
Who is it?
Chris Pratt.
Okay, because I saw the list of people and I saw that the internet was going nuts.
They're all mad about it, and it's like, I don't know. You can give Chris Pratt a shot at Mario. I don't know if he could do a bad
not?
job.
It's
He's
Chris
funny.
Pratt. He'll
Yeah,
be
he's
hilarious.
funny,
He'll be
whatever.
great. He's fine.
He'll be
good.
fine. Yeah, he can wrangle Velociraptor. See, he wrangles Velociraptors. A Koopa's not that much different. You guys aren't seeing the big picture here.
People tend to freak out about these like IP when these major
yes.
IPs get cast for the first time.
I mean,
It's
at
like,
least it's like animated and not like another live action one.
yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's animated.
Wait till the movie comes out. It might be great. It might be terrible.
Right.
That probably has nothing to do with Chris Pratt being in it. You know.
Did you guys see the live action Sonic?
Yeah.
No.
I watched
It was
it.
good. It
Was
was.
it?
It was actually.
I
Really
will
good.
say I'm glad they did redo Sonic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they redid it. I
That
still
was
think now,
real
like the
bad.
more I think about
It's
it,
a
I still
marketing
think
stunt.
You
was a
think so?
publicity-
Oh yeah, 100%.
They
don't
made
know.
them ugly to be viral, and then they went viral, and then
I don't know. Do you really think that they had that much foresight to?
Well, because they would only had to have rendered him looking completely terrible for what they did in the trailer and have already done like the correct rendering of him for everything else. And then they'll be like, oh, this will buy us a little bit of time. And everyone's going to be like, oh, is it going to be different? And then everybody talking about how big of a mistake and how, they're so relieved that they actually fixed it. I could see somebody being like, okay, I've got a crazy plan, but it's going to work.
No, I vote happy accident.
All
at
right.
best.
You taking the Bob Ross excuse? Fair enough.
Yep, I am.
Catching up on chat some more because there's still Maz says that he thinks that the Lord of the Rings series is going to be the second age.
I
You might
think
see
you're right.
Galadriel, Elrond. Sauron was posing as a beautiful elf at the time, he thinks.
I think
Cam wants to know if we are excited about the new Amazon Wheel of Time series.
I am. Yeah.
So Cam, I've actually had a coworker who refuses to not let me listen or read the Wheel of Time, and I've really enjoyed what I've heard so far. I was actually asking, have you ever done that series?
I have no idea what it is.
It's basically what inspired Game of Thrones. So it's very
okay.
point of view storytelling. It's that stylistic, but he's written how many books in the series, Gwen? 15 books.
Who's the author?
Robert. Or did Robert Johnson or whatever pick it up from somebody else?
I brought the first 3 books. I will just go look.
Oh, she's got him. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, she's even got him here.
Fair to read.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
I love you. I want to read
It's
them.
really good. So there's a
Robert Jordan,
Jordan, and then after he passed away,
Brandon Sanderson.
took over.
so
I know nothing about these.
okay. As much as Kara loves Lord of the Rings, my coworker loves the Wheel of Time series.
Not
so
possible.
He's given me the whole. It's possible. He's given me the whole thing. So apparently, there's a long, just dirty movie history where they did a TV show back in the day and they just didn't do it justice. And they, there was something about movie rights, and you and Chris probably know a lot more about this. It's like they got the movie rights and they didn't do anything with it, and so their contract was expiring. And so in order to keep the rights. They had to make something, so they just made a really
Sony Spider-Man.
Yeah, so they really made like a garbage run production just to hold on to the rights.
There's
Fantastic Four.
I was gonna say there's a way funnier example than Spider-Man. The Fantastic Four movie.
Every 5 years, you get a really bad Fantastic Four movie, so that Fox doesn't have to give Fantastic Four back.
Even before that, in the late '80s, there was a Roger Corman produced Fantastic Four, and it is terrible. This is like the same year that Batman 1989 came out. I think Fantastic Four came out.
Okay.
Why don't they just take the time to do it justice?
A lot of reasons.
I mean, you could say that about any Roger Corman movie, right? But like, he's made like 1 billion movies, and he's never lost money on hardly any of them, and he's
Yeah,
got
it's
to
like
get
if you
things
make it
going.
for $80, it's terrible. But if you pull in 90 at the box office, you're breaking ahead. So
Yeah.
well, it's like, Star Wars hold on to, or Lego hold on to its Star Wars licensing, or, Kenner got the really cheap Star Wars licensing for the toys when the movie came out, and then it became a hot commodity. So it's like, it's kind of like people buy domain names and then they hope that they become a deal. Like somebody had AirPods that Apple had to pay $1 billion for, and somebody bought like Final Fantasy had the first 10. Then they bought Final Fantasy 15. Somebody went and bought Final Fantasy 15, and then they had to like
smart.
Yep. So they like, who knew that they would get to 15? I could have probably bought, wow, now that's what I call music, 11, and then held on to 11 through 100, and they're at like 140 right now or something like
Yeah.
that.
So now that's what I call music. So you would have been out all of your money because
Yeah,
it's not
see?
wow. That's what I
Right.
call music.
Well, that's probably had something to do with it. So that's what had happened with the Wheel of Time. Is somebody owned the movie rights, and they made a just low production just to say that they were doing something with it to retain it. And then I think it finally got released. So then Amazon picked it up, but it's very hit or miss what people are seeing with what everybody's expecting Game of Thrones and HBO style of production, and it's going to be Amazon style. And
Well, Amazon, I think in the superhero world anyway, I think Amazon is making the best superhero
they have
stuff.
Invincible. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
Invincible's good.
and The Boys
yeah.
is amazing. So, I mean, I think they're killing it in one genre anyway.
Yeah. For the record, when people talk about something they're knowledgeable about or passionate about, it's absolutely awesome. So hearing you talk about like Spider-Man, like you guys know what I'm talking about. See, I knew you would knew what I was talking about. So back to answer your question about Wheel of Time is, I hope it's good, but I'm at the dilemma right now. I'm halfway through the first book or part of the way for the first book. And it's like, I really want to finish the first book or maybe read them and just enjoy them as the original intended format before I switch to the TV version.
Yeah, I've like gotten into weird things like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, for instance, where it's like I start with the books and then I go to the movies and then I continue reading the books, and I can't not picture the actors when I'm reading the books, and I'm like, I should not have watched the movie before finishing the series. Weird things like that. So sometimes I think it is good to like just read the books so you get to like imagine your own version of it and then watch the visual version later.
I was so happy because I got through a majority of the Harry Potter books before I watched the movies. So I had my headcanon, I guess we'll call it, of what everybody looked and sounded like. And it was, and I actually really love Harry, and Hermione was a little bit different, but it was pretty close. And then Ron was the only one I was completely opposite about. I was just picturing this like raspier, coolier Ron. I don't know why I thought Ron was cool because he's, I don't know.
No
maybe
one's
I
ever
related
thought
to him.
Ron was cool. You're the only one. Ron Weasley doesn't think Ron Weasley is cool.
Okay,
He
even
knows.
the
He's like,
actor,
oh, I'm
though.
the friend character.
The actor for him just goes around, drives an ice cream truck around when he feels like it. So I think he's pretty cool. I can relate to that. All my useless
and
knowledge.
just like enjoys the shock when people are like, oh my God,
I
it's
just
Ron
got served
Weasley.
ice cream by
It's Leviosa.
Rupert Grint. Is
That's
that
kinda
right?
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. So any more other chat?
Let's see here. Cam is going through Wheel of Time for the third time right now. It seems like Swanky agrees that it was a
that's a lot
happy
of reading.
mistake with Sonic. Maz says the token estate said that they can't change the story, but can add characters and dialogue as long as it doesn't change the story that was written.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Man, I mean, that's a heck of a thing to write into a contract because it's like there's so many opportunities to bend those rules.
Well, they probably got blown out so bad by the other ones. They wanted something in there, but they didn't want to completely stifle the ability to do something to make it better as a series versus a film or versus a book.
I didn't like the addition of Tariel in The Hobbit.
That's what I was getting. I was tiptoeing.
I mean,
around
it's
that.
like they didn't need that love story and weirdness.
So wait, so All right, so the chat wrote that they can add characters, but they can't change story.
Yeah, so if you need a convenience character to push plot or something.
Man, could you imagine like if this went to court and like the lawyers arguing? It's like, well, we didn't change the plot, we just added a character, and the other lawyer is like, plot is character. You know, it's like
I want to see people in court arguing over Lord of the Rings characters.
I know.
Like,
Right? Yes, I would love that. I would sit in that. I'd be like,
Kara's like, I need court TV.
I just don't know how dry Kara can enjoy Lord of the Rings.
It's wonderful. In the first, so I watched Fellowship of the Ring. I'd never read Lord of the Rings before. I watched Lord of the Rings, and then before Two Towers came out, I went through the Lord of the Rings 3 times.
That's absolutely crazy.
I don't think Kara had friends.
I was homeschooled, my friends. I was homeschooled.
Actually, I read the books, but only once. It was like a really like relaxing experience. Like
Tolkien goes into a lot of depth
and I
with his
actually,
descriptions.
and people told me like, oh, well, they're kind of boring. They're not like the movies. And I wouldn't call them boring at all.
No.
I just,
They're a little
really
hard to
like
get
nice
into
to just
sometimes.
like, I actually like enjoyed just like sinking into them like a comfy couch, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, you just like fall into so much detail and they're just like really nice reads.
When I was in Europe, I downloaded the audiobooks, and I just, on bus rides, plane rides, I just sit and listen to Lord of the Rings.
The narrator, they couldn't have got a more sleep-inducing narrator for that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It was Ian Holm.
You got to watch out for the Black Riders, Frodo. You know?
And then when I was training for the full marathon, I actually listened to the Lord of the Rings as well.
Oh, nice.
Kara gives me a hard time. I'll give a video game reference here. I like Farming Simulator and Snow Runner, where you literally like
Big truck backing up simulator.
Redneck Rider,
you like get this
Redneck Runner?
you,
Is that what I call it?
Yep, you pick your truck, you back up to the the wood storehouse, you just load your lumber on there, and then you drive it across Wisconsin or Russia or Antarctica.
Yeah, those are very similar things, Wisconsin and Russia.
That's the difficulty level. It depends on how many tree stumps and how well rolled. It's relaxing. It's a nice unwind thing. And the same thing is like with Farming Simulator. You hook up to your plow and you unfold it.
Yeah, you got your Farming Simulator champion here.
What now?
Ryan is big into Farming Simulator.
It is so relaxing. So you plow the field, then you pick out what fertilizer you're going to use, and you fertilize. You lay your crops
I only
down.
use Jeremy brand fertilizer.
So after Jeremy played this, his dream was to have a farm, and I'm like, you realize it's not that easy, right?
Oh, I'm thinking if a farmer's listening to this right now, they're like, I hate you guys. My job is so hard.
It's very difficult. Like, you are up at the butt crack of dawn, and then you have to work those fields, and no.
It's
Can you
not-
imagine Jeremy's like, Kara, I need you to force me to get out to rotate the crops today. And he's like, I'm too tired.
I'd have a pin sitting on my bedside table. So every morning I'd be like, hey, Jeremy, time to get up. Oh, just 5 more minutes. I would grab that pin and I'd shove it in his butt cheek.
So not just Farm Simulator. It was also the perfect combination.
Clarkson Farm.
Clarkson Farm.
And again, Clarkson has millions of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
He has a Lamborghini
He buys a Lamborghini tractor so he can just do it faster.
Wait, who is this?
Jeremy Clarkson, the host of
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so imagine,
I can't imagine that being very efficient.
Didn't Lamborghini start out with tractors?
It's nice. So there's these things called tram lines, and then over in England, they can tell you what kind of roof you can put on your house. So in his fields, he gets bored with like having to do a 3-point turn to come back and go the other way. So he does it Zamboni style, where he goes like this.
Oh, nice.
And it messes up. So what they do is the computer you program to automatically skip laying a row of seeds for a certain spot. It's called the tram line. So you can drive your tires down there and you don't trample your crops. And the tram lines are like when you look out in the rolling fields, like it's very beautiful and you see like beautiful crop and then symmetrical lines.
Yeah.
Well, it knows to do it like every 15th line or row or whatever. And then that's the reach of your, so he just does it this way and all of the tram lines are messed up. So he hires this help, and this help is like, dude, you're going to get so many complaints because we can't even fertilize realize this because there's nowhere to drive the tractor because there's just seeds all over the whole thing, and then there's bald spots in his fields. It's amazing. It is absolutely brilliant. It's on Amazon Prime, speaking of which, and it's really well done.
Yeah, not sponsored by Amazon Prime.
No, but no, they've got their fingers in everything because we're going to talk about the history of Twitch. But I
have that up, by the way.
I wanted to bring up this really quick. As earlier, I asked what things are better to do with off, and in a previous episode, I don't know why we got on the topic of conversation that if Case Kara ever passes away, she should leave a list for me to watch.
Yeah,
So I've kind of been keeping this in the back of my head.
So we pinned
it's
one
the most
down.
important thing.
We pinned one down. And so the past week, for the first time ever in my life, Kara got to pick a show for me to watch. I'd be curious to see if you've seen this, Keith.
Okay.
Because there's like a good chance you have.
You've never, this is the first time you've ever watched a show that Kara picked?
A movie.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
Well, like
9 times out of 10, Jeremy's like, do you want to watch this or this?
You just always let him. That's
Okay, so
no.
He's holding onto the remote. What should you do?
He let me pick,
Chris is going to lose it if we bring this
what's
movie up.
the
but
Drew
A Night-
Barrymore movie? With,
that was Ever After.
Ever After.
Ugh.
He fell asleep watching Ever After. It's a good movie.
I've never seen it.
And then, of course, the other one that he suggested that I really liked was A Knight's Tale, but we'll move past that
Yeah,
quickly.
that's
So
fine.
what's the show?
Okay, so here's the
Caesars.
one I had never seen is The Devil Wears Prada.
Nope.
See?
Never
he
seen
hasn't
it.
seen it.
Yeah, I think if you're a man, you haven't seen it.
Well, I watched it with Kara. It was a good movie. It's got
I mean,
Anne
I've
Hathaway
watched-
in it and Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is dope. It's like when the guy discovered hockey for the first time. It's like, where has Meryl Streep been my whole life? What other good shows has she been in?
Everything she's been in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Meryl Streep is
she's-
like
she's really
queen
good.
of Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah.
3 languages, I think.
Really?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Dang, I know what I want to get as my first tattoo. Get Meryl Streep.
I've
She's
got
good.
a
The Devil Wears Prada.
Do you want me
rom-com
to
with
list her
That's
filmography?
really awesome. It's that fly landed right
I
on
know.
your nose.
Yep, I felt it. I thought it was going to go up.
Have you guys seen It's Complicated?
No.
That's a really
Is
good
it?
Meryl Streep rom-com.
You're getting the thumbs. So,
It's
yeah.
so good. It's so good.
She was dope in Devil Wears Prada. She was actually really
She's
good.
just like,
Well, I relate to that though.
yeah.
So there's a scene in there that absolutely stands out. So if I were to like give you the synopsis of it, Anne Hathaway, young aspiring journalist, right? She wants to like be proud of her journalism, and she applies for this job working for Meryl Streep, who's like the fashion queen. She runs Runway magazine. She knows every.
What? I'm surprised you remember the name of the magazine.
So, anyways.
Well, when you only have to watch 3 rom-coms a lifetime.
Yeah, it's not that hard to pay attention to the few you make me watch. And so Meryl's like, a million girls would die to have this job because they like get exposed to the fashion industry. They get to go to Paris. They get to do all these things. And Anne Hathaway is like not looking pretty. Like, so she wears clothes that don't flatter her because she wants to be taken seriously. And she wants to write serialistic journal. And says she's a fast learner. So she still tries to get the job. And so Meryl Streep like quizzes her a little bit, and she's like, okay, look, the last 3 women who've wanted this job have been horrible. So maybe if I pick somebody who doesn't want it for the perks and actually wants it to be seriously, might be good. So she gets this job, but then Meryl Streep just craps all over her constantly. Like, you're blah, 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 blah. And so then there's, there's always the character that's like the background lifting up, inspiring character. And he tries to tell her like, you don't realize what the world of fashion is. I can't believe we're talking about all of this. So
I'm incredibly bored at this
there's
point.
a really powerful scene where she's wearing a blue sweater.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you told me this story.
So
A blue sweater?
and so this girl holds up 2 turquoise belts, and she's like, "Oh, which color one do you want?"
What is this movie?
It's a fashion movie. It's good.
So hear me out. So
How did 2 turquoise belts even get made in the first place?
okay, so 2 turquoise belts get held up.
Anne Hathaway right now.
I know
Yeah.
he is. That's exactly it. And so she holds up the 2 turquoise belts, and she's like, "Oh, Meryl Streep, which one do you like more?" And she's like looking at him, and Anne Hathaway like snorts. Like, I can't believe this. They're the same color. So then Meryl Streep like snaps and turns at her and looks at her, and she's like, "Look, you might think you don't like fashion."
No, she says, is something funny?
Well,
And she's-
yeah, but that's so the point.
fine,
the
whatever.
point is there is a difference between the turquoise belts, And she schools Anne Hathaway and says, look, you may think that you just took off a blue sweatshirt off of the rack and put it on today. But in reality, there's 14 shades of that blue. There's this, and this is specifically cardaminium blue or whatever. And that was actually a color that was has created billions of jobs and has been started on as a runway model color and then dropped down to this and then dropped down to this. And it like just the trickle effect of what fashion does for the world. And I didn't know about any of this either. So just her delivery and her performance, her confidence, her knowledge, all delivered so quickly. It was like, that's actually a pretty cool scene of like watching Anne Hathaway just get schooled on the importance of fashion. It was a really good movie. I actually really liked it.
I
So,
appreciate that you appreciated it.
yeah, it was kind of fun. And then there's, of course, the stupid lessons they jam down your throat and typical movie fashion.
Like that the fashion industry is good for you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to talk about the fact that they make clothes as disposable as possible to force you to purchase more clothing instead of just
So-
using the
That's
stuff
why
that
you don't buy
have.
trendy clothes
So
and you buy
literally,
staple pieces.
I got to get this out there now. In the what things should be eliminated from the world, somebody put
Fashion?
fast fashion.
Yep.
Specifically fast fashion. So I was going to ask Kara, I didn't know fast fashion was even a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm-
apparently like people used to eat Tide Pods as a TikTok challenge. That's one of the things now is people are just wearing a thing once and then getting rid of it, and it's creating a mountain.
So
of
that's why you
clothes
have
in
clothing
landfills.
stores like Rue 21 and like Charlotte Russe was another one. Just a lot of these places where you can buy cheap clothes that have that season's hot items that are not going to be in fashion next season. So basically, you'll wear it for that season, and then it's no longer cool. Nobody's ever going to wear it again. Bye.
Hey,
See,
as a segue,
That's
what
what-
never goes out of fashion is Rise of the Podcast t-shirts. And if you want to get yours, they're
While he's
available
putting them
until October 1st. We come in 3 different designs: the Galactic Tour tee, front and back print, the classic Rise of the Podcast logo tee, and Jeremy's favorite, My Heartbeat is on the Pulse of the Internet. His catchphrase for his barometer sensing of how the internet feels about things.
That is correct.
Go to everpress.com/rise of the podcast, and you should come up with those. Otherwise, we will post links to that. in
Is the audience
description.
looking at these shirts as
Yeah.
we speak?
Here you go.
I've accidentally launched a game graphic twice while I was doing this too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just could not pass up that opportunity.
No, it was a good segue. What were you going to say, Keith?
Oh, I think everyone should wear exactly what I wear because it's never in fashion or out of fashion.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. A polo shirt and slacks has never gone out of fashion.
Yeah,
and that's
just-
what I'm wearing.
I wish the whole world would just wear like blue jeans, black t-shirts, and hoodies. And that was just formal, informal, around the house, at a wedding. It was just everything.
Yep.
And then no one would have to worry about it. And
Right.
wouldn't that be great?
But
That would be great.
that's like my
outfit
utopia.
today, okay?
Yeah, we're persecuting you, Kara. This is actually an intervention. Get ready to get schooled.
Well, so
All right. Oh, sorry. Make your point. We have a ton of chat to catch up on.
really quick, there was an ad that was somebody issued lately called a rewear challenging daring influencers to actually wash their clothes and wear them more than once. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting when I was
Well,
reading
okay, here's what's sad. Sorry, not to keep this going, but you bring that up. There, a lot of influencers will be sent clothes and paid to wear their clothes and talk about how
Product
awesome
placement.
this brand's clothes are. And in reality, they hate them, so they wear them once and then they just sit in the closet or they get shipped off to Goodwill or whatever.
Clothes don't become comfortable until you wear them like 40 times.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
I agree. All right,
All right,
so
Chris, take us to chat.
6 million things here. So, Swanky says Arthur Weasley is pretty cool. This is how far back this goes. There's an announcement of a new Harry Potter Beast movie in the last couple of days. Did any of us see the announcement? I missed that.
No, a new Harry Potter Beast movie?
Yeah, the
Got it.
Fantastic Beasts and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, who are they recasting? Johnny
Johnny
Depp's-
Depp.
What? They're bringing him
coming back?
back?
No. I thought you asked who they were recasting.
Oh, yeah.
No, I knew
so,
they were recasting Johnny Depp, but have they picked somebody to play his character?
Matt says the annotated Hobbit is worth reading. He also says, I'm guessing he's in reference to like Farming Simulator. He says, sounds like paint drying simulator.
No, it's really fun and it's relaxing. So yes, like reading Lord of the Rings.
So apparently Lamborghini was the original tractor / farm equipment.
I was
Yes.
right.
Oh,
they
yeah, you
did
were
make
right.
tractors and stuff first.
That's absolutely correct. So was Ferrari. Yep.
Too lazy to train, but will play Farm Simulator and think he can own a farm because he likes playing the game.
I don't own a farm yet.
Ever.
Jeremy needs to spend a week working at Becca and Gavin's farm.
Yep, I should.
Let's see. Swanky
They
says
have a cow rotator that automatically utters them and then kicks them off.
none of the words you said are actual words.
Cows get on, they get milked, and they get off, and it's all humane. It's super cool.
I don't like that sentence you just said.
They get back buttered, Chris.
Swanky says Papa Lambo had issues with how Ferrari was building their engines, wrote a letter of suggestion to Ferrari where they wrote a big diss letter and returned to Lambo saying he knows nothing and stick to your tractors. So then Lambo decided to design cars out of spite. I have heard that.
Yes, that's true.
Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore in theaters like April 15th, 2022. So file all your taxes and watch a Harry Potter movie. Swanky says, darn, hopefully we'll be on vacation. No idea what the context of that's to. Watch Death Becomes Her, Jeremy. That's a rom-com, I assume. Swanky says my last rom-com was Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, good luck. I would try to say that was a rom-com. Kara would absolutely put that one down.
Let's see. Did you know that 10% of greenhouse gases are caused from the fashion industries?
Really? Ooh. How much of that's due to shipping, though?
I have no idea. Probably a lot.
Like the dye process and all the synthetic materials and stuff like that.
Oh. I know the synthetic materials are making microplastics that, like, every time you wash your clothes, and yeah, it's bad.
I mean, I guarantee you, nothing you are wearing is 100% cotton.
No.
Nothing.
He's like inspecting it.
There's polyester in there.
Nothing you're wearing is probably made in this country, I would bet. Let's see.
Jerry's going for his t-shirt. T-shirt, maybe, but you got the screen print on there.
Mexico. This is riveting podcast right here.
Jeremy's face over here, he's like,
It's only 60% cotton.
told you.
40% polyester.
Boom.
You weren't supposed to give a close-up. You can.
No, I had to because your face was like.
I don't think I'll be able to see straight again.
You could have just taken the shirt off.
Right?
Do we want to see that, though? I'm just kidding.
Our female audience definitely does.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
You have a female audience?
No, we don't. That's the joke.
The females that are in here are like,
Cam says, so basically he just likes watching Anne Hathaway get schooled.
Well, I have seen the Princess Diaries, you know.
good.
Brad says, the sad part is I read that scene is different to me. It was like Meryl Streep character thinks fashion is more important than it really is. Absurd how important that entire group of people in New York to Paris think they are.
Who was that? Who wrote that?
Brad did.
Brad?
Yeah, about that turquoise belt scene.
What it means is Brad's watched the movie.
That's the real takeaway.
That busted Brad. Busted.
Swanky says that the fashion industry is also the second biggest consumer of the world's water supply.
Really?
I've heard that. I know there's people who are trying to change that. There's fashion groups out there that are trying.
Matt says, wasn't the lady head of Rebels in Star Wars 9 just like Meryl Streep?
Hera? Mon Mothma? Who?
Well, so it'd be Rise of Skywalker, whoever
the Jurassic Park lady?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's episode 8. That's Laura Dern.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Laura Dern, yeah. Yeah, the Jurassic Park lady.
Yeah.
It's called a rotating milking parlor.
What, David put that on there?
Al did, I think.
Cow merry-go-round sounds much better.
I think merry-go-cow.
It's a milking
Merry-go-cow.
go-round.
Yeah. A dairy-go-round. Oh!
Who said that?
I don't know, me right now. I just
Dairy-go-round?
No, a dairy-go-round.
That's what I just said, is dairy-go-round.
Who said that?
I was asking if that's what you said.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh my God. This turned into who's on first. Oh my goodness. Brad says I watch everything at least once.
See, way to go,
Wow.
Brad.
So I don't know if it's literally
Brad's the
everything,
one, though,
but-
when we did the top movie quotes of all time, I'm pretty sure he knew like 99% of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have not seen. You know what we almost watched? I kid you not. If I wasn't going to watch Devil Wears Prada, we were going to watch Romancing the Stone, for what it's worth.
So, well, that's the one you should have watched.
No, what was the other chick? I was thinking, Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Phantom of the Opera. Have you seen that, Keith?
No, I've never seen that one.
Excellent movie.
I'm in trouble.
Excellent movie.
I'm in trouble.
Swanky says if it doesn't have gore or spaceships, I probably won't watch it.
I'm sure he's seen Event Horizon.
I mean, the Phantom,
I used to
Phantom
tell-
kills people.
I used to tell people that I don't watch movies that don't have henchmen.
So you must love like Beauty and the Beast.
Well, no, that's got henchmen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You must love it. Right?
Oh, yeah, I do love Beauty and the
No
Beast.
one bites like Gaston.
Yep, they're the henchmen of Beauty and the Beast.
Check your phone for a picture of your dairy go round.
Oh, yeah.
Maz
Oh my
agrees
goodness,
Romancing the
you
Stone is great.
Oh,
We
wait.
haven't talked about butts this podcast, but
Oh, Jeremy, we had 2 minutes to go. Right in the center. Up.
Oh, there's no way that's going to be in focus.
Pull back.
I think the focus thing is set in the middle. I think it's set on the logo. There you go.
see, there you go.
No, so what you just showed me is a bunch of cow butts. Thanks, Jeremy.
So the thing is that you can't see because the Earth is actually flat, so you can't see the curve. But that curves around, and
You know people can't really hear you right now, right? There's no mic out here.
So what you saw there is you can't see
Cow butts.
the curve. The Earth is not. Anyway, so by the time the cows get on, the rotation is one milking. It's absolutely genius. You don't realize the amazing engineering that went into this.
Man, it says Moopocalypse now, the horror.
Hey, haven't you been playing Diablo 2 and there's a cow level on it?
Yeah, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I'm murdering all of them, so it's really sad.
Well, unless you like beef.
And Brad says Swanky should get some culture and watch some movies that don't have spaceships and gore in it. And then Gary emoji.
Oh, funny. The classic snail.
All right, well, we didn't talk about any of Keith's cool stuff, so on that disappointment.
Really quick, Keith, you're going to be at DuluthCon.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell us about your panel really quick.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to do like a short story writing blitz. So the topic of the anthology book that I want to put together at DuluthCon is called Attack of the DuluthCon Zombies, right? So anybody who would like to contribute a short story to this massive project at DuluthCon is tasked with writing a story about what they think would happen if the Comic-Con was overrun by zombies. So a lot of these kind of short story blitzes happen at writing conventions. I don't know of one that's ever happened at a comic book convention before, but we'll see. And the results will get published in early 2022.
So here's what's fun, right? When you're good at something, you either know the rules well enough to follow them when you need to follow them, or break them to like do something awesome, right? So at writing conventions, people have all these rules and things about writing. The fun thing is you're going to talk to a bunch of people who are passionate about zombies at a comic book convention. So that's what's kind of fun. I'm really interested to see the results. These people aren't going to be held to the rules of the writing standards, but they know a lot about zombies and are probably passionate about it.
Zombie tropes are super simple. You know, it's not like they have to think of a whole lot of like big origin story or where did these zombies come from. We all know what zombies do. We all know what they act like.
Yep.
What happens if zombies are here right now at this convention? What would it look like?
Super fun.
Super easy.
Really
And then when is DuluthCon?
December 22nd.
December.
October. Oh, Lord.
It's Christmas Day.
October 24th through the 26th.
And then now I'm just picturing what happens if like I was talking to a guy who cosplays as Deadpool. How funny it would be to see all these people in cosplay now zombies. How funny would that be?
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
Undead Pool.
Yeah,
Undeadpool.
Yes.
Please
I
write
got
that.
one.
Brownie, please write that story.
There you go.
Oh, sorry, the 22nd through the 24th.
So when you said the 24th through the 26th, I was like, oh crap, I requested the wrong days off.
So it's the 22nd through the 24th of October.
I just scared Keith.
Yeah.
Brad says, look out, Kara's going to blame this on not knowing the month on Chip.
Actually, I have been talking about his birthday a lot.
Yeah, see, there it is, the scapegoat.
Yeah. Babies are the excuse for everything.
Swanky says that just means Keith will have to come back to plug his stuff some more.
Hey.
And then
Hey,
Brad
come back
plus one
for
bit.
DuluthCon and we can read some of the stories.
Sweet,
That'll be cool.
yeah. And then Swanky says we should create a new method of zombies so I can rant about how they aren't true zombies.
Well, there you go, right?
And that's pretty much it. So anything else we want to do before we wrap up? Or?
I think we're good.
All right, well, thank you for joining us in our brand new space. Keith, always a pleasure for having you on. So we're Twitch only now, so if you're watching it live, you obviously know where we are. But for those of you who are watching the VOD on Monday or later on YouTube, you can watch us live Saturday nights at 7 at twitch.tv/Rise of the Podcast.
Yep, I think so.
And there's all the information they're going to need out there. So Thank you for watching this. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like it. It shows that you want to see more content like this. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And of course,
May the force be with you.